She sprayed tear gas at my deaf daughter in broad daylight, in the middle of a public park. Who does that? I was shaking with rage, heart pounding in my throat, as my little girl collapsed into my arms, her hands desperately signing, eyes wide with pain and confusion. It all started with a petty HOA disputados, and it always. Karen, the self-appointed president of our neighborhood association, had been gunning for my family since the day we moved in. I guess we didn't match her aesthetic. Maybe it was my tattoos. Maybe it was the fact I'm a single dad raising a deaf child. Or maybe it was just that miserable itch in her soul that couldn't stand seeing someone else happy. She nitpicked everything: our flowerbed color, the swing I built for my daughter in our own backyard, even the wind chimes that helped my girl sense vibrations. Against code, she'd sneer, flaunting her clipboard like a scepter of doom. And every complaint ended the same way, with a threat of fines or legal action. You'd think we were operating a black market casino, not living quietly in a suburb. But nothing prepared me for what she did that Saturday. It was our town spring in the square: event music, food trucks, and happy chaos. My daughter, Hope, was beaming, signing excitedly at the puppet show in the park. That smile. It's everything to me. I had just stepped back to grab her a lemonade when it happened. Out of nowhere, the air was thick with gas. Kids screamed. Parents yelled. And there she was. Karen. Standing 5 feet away. Holding a tiny black canister. Smiling. That child was too close to me, she snapped when people screamed at her. She was invading my space. My daughter. A child barely 10 years old, who didn't hear her. Couldn't even know what she wanted. I dropped the lemonade. I ran. Hope was on the grass, choking, eyes red and streaming, hands fluttering in terror. It felt like the whole world spun on a broken axis, like gravity stopped working. Someone shouted for a medic. Another dialed 911. And Karen? She just stood there, still clutching the pepper spray, still justifying it to everyone within earshot. They don't teach discipline anymore, she said, like she hadn't just assaulted a child with a weapon. But here's the twist she didn't see coming: I had installed a new feature on my smartwatch. A live stream link to my security cloud. And because I'd stepped away from Hope only moments earlier, it was still recording. The whole thing. Her face. The gas. The moment she raised her arm and sprayed. Within minutes, officers arrived. Karen flipped on the crocodile tears. I feared for my life, she lied. She was aggressive. She pointed at my barely conscious daughter, a deaf little girl clutching a stuffed rabbit. My fists clenched. My jaw locked. I wanted to scream, but instead, I played the footage. Silence. Then the sharp click of handcuffs. Karen started to scream about her rights, about how she wasn't going to jail, how she knew people but the cops didn't care. Not with that video. Not with 20 other witnesses who saw it all. You just assaulted a minor with a chemical weapon, one of them told her. You're not going home tonight. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Karen tried to wiggle out of it with every dirty trick in the book. Filed a lawsuit against me for slander, seriously, claimed the footage was forged, it was verified by forensics, and even had the nerve to launch a GoFundMe for her legal defense against an abusive neighbor. She called me abusive. The man who carried his daughter to the ER and held her hand through 2 nights of blurry pain and silence. Her fake fundraising page was flagged for fraud within 48 hours. Turns out you can't spin a tear gas attack on a disabled child into sympathy points, not when the internet's seen the footage. But karma wasn't done with her yet. The prosecutor didn't hold back. Karen was charged with assault with a deadly weapon, child endangerment, and a federal disability rights violation. Her HOA buddies tried to defend her at first until 3 of them got subpoenaed for looking the other way in previous complaints. Turns out, Karen had a pattern. Harassment, aggression, threats. And this time, it escalated too far. She's in federal prison now. 4 years minimum. No more clipboards. No more fake rules. No more gaslighting neighbors literally or figuratively. Hope's still healing, but she's stronger than ever. She even signed something to me last week that made my eyes well up, Daddy Brave. Karen Small. And you know what? She's right. Because when people like that try to crush you with power and fear, the only real answer is to fight back with truth, with proof and with love. And next time someone tries to justify cruelty with just following HOA rules, I've got one hell of a story to tell.